All right, we're going side by side here. Grainfather Connect 2018, brand new, just came in this week. RoboBrew, in fact, both of these came in on Friday. So again, I want to go side by side and do everything the same. So, RoboBrew, the box is a little bit worse for the wear. The Grainfather box looks like it survived a little bit better. Grainfather box is a little bit bigger too. We have 17.5 inches by 19 inches by, they are almost the exact same height, but by 29.5 inches versus the RoboBrew, the box, which is 16 inches by 16 inches by, best guess, about the same exact as the other one, right? Yeah, about 29.5. So 16 by 16, this one again, 17 inches, 17.5 by 19. Let's see what that works out to inside. Let's open these things up. Let's open these up. Already, the RoboBrew has less tape. Does that matter? It has less tape. It has like one piece of tape going across the top. Versus the Grainfather, which is taped in all sorts of directions. I'll describe as I'm cutting the tape what I'm doing with the brewery here. I sold all of my homebrew equipment, all of my wort making equipment, not my fermentation stuff. And I'm starting over from scratch. And I was going to get a Brew Easy at 10 gallons, but rather than going with a 10-gallon Brew Easy, I decided to go 10 gallons this way and save literally $1,000 between the Blickman Brew Easy 10-gallon system and a RoboBrew and a Grainfather. If I wanted to go just RoboBrew, it would have been obviously an even bigger savings. But I have used the Grainfather before, and I really enjoy having the Bluetooth connectivity so that I can be upstairs and do 5 gallons with only minimal attention to what I'm doing. So that I can play with the kids, so that I can be with the family, and I don't have to be attentive to it as much. So I got one of each so that I can do 5 gallons, I could do 10 gallons, or I could just do 5 gallons in the RoboBrew. So, opening up the top of each. Already, I don't know if it's a huge deal, but there's some broken material here in the top of the RoboBrew one. Looks like the lid is fine though. There is no cracks, no problems with the lid, although that styrofoam is completely busted up there. So we have the lid for the RoboBrew, and we have to cut that open on the Grainfather. Let's do that. Now this is my second time unboxing a Grainfather, as I used a borrowed one for a couple of months, which is really what sold me on the Bluetooth. So we have versus the Grainfather here has the molded paper cardboard here versus the styrofoam, and the styrofoam barely made it through this shipment here. This one came from More Beer. Ordered this one through morebeer.com. Ordered this one through my local homebrew shop, which if you go to WNYBrews.com, WNYBrews.com/Grainfather, I have a link to my local shop, because if you're not in New York State, you can shop through them just like any other online retailer, tax-wise, and get a good deal through them, and they're my local homebrew shop. So right off the bat, the Grainfather lid is in a bag. I don't know if that helps or anything, but so far both lids came through fine. There's the lids side by side. Here's the lids on top of each other. They are practically identical. The RoboBrew lid is slightly larger. I don't know if you could see that. Very slightly larger. The hole is about the same size, and obviously directly in the center. The RoboBrew lid has the holes here for the handles, where the Grainfather lid does not. I really like that this one has handles, because when you're dealing with steam there and lifting this thing off, that's nice to have. So, RoboBrew, Grainfather, almost exactly the same thing. Let's keep going. All right, we have the instructions. The instructions for the RoboBrew, Generation 3. All right. On top of that, also, we have the, there we go, we have a recirculation arm here with a foam handle so that it's not too warm. It's a little bit off-center. I don't know if that matters to you. I will work that into place. We have the cam lock fitting, though, here. So that is different than the Grainfather. We have a cam lock fitting. Let's see what we got. Here we are. We have the pieces for the malt pipe, which I just took apart. We have the handle right here versus the handle on the Grainfather. Let's take a look at the two because they're side by side, right? Grainfather has the notch sides. RoboBrew has the sides that turn up on the end. Grainfather is a little bit thicker. I can't imagine that's going to make a difference between the two. So we have the Grainfather handle, the RoboBrew handle. There's the two here, Grainfather, RoboBrew. Okay, this one has a notch here, which I kind of like the idea of. So if you're grabbing it with a lifter, that's just one, you can lift it right there. I kind of like that idea. If you're going to use a winch, for example, if I ever put a winch up here, which I won't because I'm going to put a range hood, but you could winch that one in the center while you can't necessarily winch this one in the center. Interesting to note. So far, with the lid having handles and that center one for a possible winch, it's really tiny things that make the RoboBrew a nice choice there. So here we go, RoboBrew, Grainfather, keeping going. Grainfather instructions. The Grainfather instructions are much nicer put together here. So they don't look like a photocopied thing. They're full color and kind of intuitive looking here. Assembly, operating instructions. If I'm going between the two, which instructions do I like better? I like the Grainfather instructions better. Fermenting and beyond, cleaning, additional information. But I mean, instructions are something you can easily figure out anywhere, right? However, in the scheme of things, if I'm comparing and going side by side, which is the point of this, right? The Grainfather instructions seem to be nicer than the RoboBrew instructions. These look like 8.5 by 11 sheets, color printer, stapled in the middle, which is fine, right? You're not, I mean, the difference in pay right here. Look at the two, okay? Let's keep going. Let's keep going. The warranty, holy cow, we should talk about that, right? 12-month warranty against any manufacturer faults or defects on the Grainfather. So that's 12 months. So I will make sure to go and do that. RoboBrew, Grainfather, and a little thing here from Mangrove Jack. We'll toss that too. All right, getting deeper. Let's do this. So in the RoboBrew, it looks like these are the handles coming up close. It looks like the handles for the lid. We have the top of the malt pipe. There it is. That center drain part here. And what I'm going to assume, and I'm not completely sure as this is my first RoboBrew, but I assume that this is the top for the malt pipe assembly so the grain doesn't fall down the center, so you can put that in when you're doughing in. So here are the handles for the lid, and here is the top here. That looks so much like the Grainfather one. Wow, it looks almost exactly the same. Let's keep going. So RoboBrew pieces right here. We will put those together in a few minutes. Recirculation arm, malt pipe pieces, and this. I'm sure the instructions will tell me what this is. All right, If you're commenting, if you're telling me what that is great. I will read it, but I can't right now. So this, whatever that is, comes with the RoboBrew. I'm going to put this down here with the instructions. All right, more pieces of the RoboBrew. The reason why I'm going with the RoboBrew more right now is because there's nothing else to get into on the top of the lid here and the unboxing. So what do we have here? They put it right on top. All right, so we have a ball valve here. I don't know. I suppose I like the idea of having a ball valve on the RoboBrew, although I'm not going to be using gravity for most of this because I'm going to have these mostly on the ground. I like that it's lockable. It's 304 stainless steel. All right, has a gasket there. Nice. So now let's take these pieces off and see what's underneath. So you see here the foam that's on top and the condition that that's in. Nothing seems damaged right at this moment, but that's what's going on. Looks like this whole corner, I don't know if that was supposed to be like that. This whole corner is a hole. Again, nothing seems damaged, so I guess right now it's no harm, no foul, right? We'll take this out from the RoboBrew. We'll take this out from the Grainfather and keep going and see what's next. All right, RoboBrew, we have the immersion chiller here and a silicone ring. And I was using a jaded Hydra, and I ended up selling that. I assume that most of my chilling is going to be done with the counterflow chiller that comes with the Grainfather. But I do want to use this, and I will use it and come up with a review for it, but not right this second, obviously. So we have the immersion chiller here with the RoboBrew, and the actual unit itself, which has handles. So grabbing it by the handles here. Oh man. Okay, I need to get a better angle on this. All right, excuse my backside. You ready? RoboBrew coming out, hopefully. Nope, not there yet. Well, I'll say for sure it's in there tight. That's good, right? Here it is. You know what? I think that's one of the problems, is that the bag is getting caught. Let me see. Nope, that did absolutely bupkis. Come on, there we are. All right, we've got a RoboBrew, everybody. Whew. Here's the bottom of the box. Nothing to report. I don't think there's anything down there. I can tell you my kids are going to love that box. Here, let me move the box out of the way. All right. We have the RoboBrew. 2 handles. Cam lock fitting here with the ball valve here too. Etched markings. Gallons, 8 markings, 30 liters right there. Let's open this up. So foam, holding this all together. This piece too, broken piece of foam there, although look how thin that piece is. See that? All right, I'm not making a judgment call on that. Again, this seems to be fine. Nothing is broken, nothing is scratched, no harm, no foul. So that piece being obviously extremely thin, but nothing, nothing broken other than that piece of foam itself. So we have the RoboBrew. Here we are. Oh, there's the control panel and the 2 rocker switches here, the 500 watt and the 1000 watt heaters. All right, here, take a look. All right. This rocker switch here, this plastic piece is a little bit out of place, so I'm not going to force that while I'm trying to make a video. but I'm going to try to put this back into the right place. I don't know if you can see that. Looks like it got a little bit knocked out there. As for the unit itself, it actually looks like it was washed. As in there's some watermarks on it, but it looks like sponged down, if I had to guess. Down at the bottom here, it has vents down here, and there's the bottom, the middle bottom here. All right, so we have the 1,000 watt heat, we have the 500 watt heat, and we have the RoboBrew Generation 3 controller right here. Everything looks to be in good shape. Let's get inside this thing, maybe a little ding right there. Let's get inside this thing and see what's going on. So we have, by the way, I love that this has handles. Love this. But before we go side by side, let's get further into the RoboBrew, okay? Or I'm sorry, into the Grainfather. So let's move the lid slightly out of the way. As I'm doing this, I'll let you know what you see around you. Here's my fermentation chamber over here. I do podcasts and I do voiceover, and I'm a musician. So here's a bunch of cables, XLR cables, 1/4 inch cables, 1/8 inch cables, sound equipment all over here. A bunch of different microphones. Okay, the inside of the Grainfather box is not foam, it's cardboard. Pieces folded up to house it here. So we have some folded up pieces of cardboard. And suppose we're almost done here as I finish up getting this thing out of the box. These folded up pieces of cardboard, which we're holding it in place. The boxes, well, I didn't do this on the video, I probably should have. When I moved the Grainfather box, it was fairly sturdy feeling. When I moved the RoboBrew box, I could feel things moving around on the inside. That might have just been the immersion chiller. I don't know. Okay, let's get the Grainfather right out of here. All right. Okay, no handles, but that came out fairly easy. Oop, there's more. We have a box. All right, let's get the boxes out of the way. See what we got here. Oh, this is fun. All right. So we have this box here with the Grainfather. Let me get my scissors here and see what's in here. Although, if I remember correctly, it's the assembly of the malt pipe. And let's get this going here. Yep, here we go. Here is the malt pipe assembly pieces here, just like there on the RoboBrew. Here is the recirculation arm with the foam on top. Not cam lock fitting. Here are a bunch of pieces of to connect to the water here. There is the top of the malt pipe piece, and there is a hop filter here to go down at the bottom of the boiler. I don't know if the RoboBrew has one of those, but I haven't gotten into it yet, so let's take a look. All right, and a small length of silicone tube. All right, again, there's a bunch of things here that I haven't seen yet with the RoboBrew, so maybe they're in there. Let's get the bag off of the Grainfather. Again, the Grainfather does not have handles, excepting this piece over here. Go in there. There you go. This piece over here with the Grainfather Connect controller here. So that could easily be a handle. Controller on this one, down at the bottom. Controller here. It says, do not use these clips on the glass lid. These clips are to be used for distilling with the pot still attachments, presumably these two. Okay, we have the two false bottoms and false top for the Grainfather, which have the silicone ring already on them. All right, so the top and the bottom for the Grainfather. Looking at the two here, you can tell a very obvious difference right off the bat, that the pump is underneath on this one and the pump is off the side on the Grainfather. Almost done here. We have the Grainfather Connect controller with some more instructions here. Put those with the instructions. The Connect controller in this box here. Okay, so this was all housed inside the Grainfather. And the counterflow chiller here. Counterflow, which I do already have a review of at WNYBrews.com/Grainfather. That's WNYBREWS/Grainfather. Let's open these up on the inside and get a handle of what's going on here. All right? Now, RoboBrew handle in here. Oh, why can't I get that in? Nope, there it is. Malt pipe. So here is the RoboBrew malt pipe. I want this open so you can see it. Again, don't rush things. Don't rush things. Take it slow. Take it calm. Let's get into this a little bit. Right through the tape there. And right through the tape there. So here is the RoboBrew malt pipe. Okay. It's got the feet here. Good. Let's go side by side here with the Grainfather malt pipe. And looking at this, am I worried at all about mixing up pieces? I'm not. All the pieces are very similar, but different enough to be able to tell the difference between the RoboBrew pieces and the Grainfather pieces. Here is the Grainfather malt pipe in comparison. All right, this one did not come with the bubble wrap on it. Looks like the Grainfather malt pipe is significantly taller than the RoboBrew malt pipe. Where is my, I just had it, measuring tape. See if we can get a quick diameter on these and see if they're similar or different. There it is. Okay, so inside diameter of the Grainfather is about 10.5 inches. Inside diameter, nope, of the RoboBrew, 10.5 inches. So based on this, I would assume that the Grainfather can hold more malt. That's an assumption, okay? Take a look at the malt pipe here. This is the Grainfather malt pipe. Looks nice. It looks extremely similar to the RoboBrew one, if just a little bit taller. Here is the RoboBrew one. Also, again, looks extremely similar, if just a little bit shorter. If I had to guess here, no, they feel about the same thickness. If there's a noticeable difference, if there's a difference in thickness, it's not necessarily noticeable. I don't know if it's just in my head that the Grainfather one is thicker. The Grainfather one might be slightly thicker. I don't think it is, though. I don't think it is. It might be. All right. Bottom of the Grainfather here is this placeholder. Let's get rid of that. Bottom of the RoboBrew. Both of them have marked etchings here. The RoboBrew ones are actually slightly easier to read. You know, at the top here of the RoboBrew, is that an issue? No, it feels the same way on each one. They each have the same ring to hold the basket in there up at the top here. They both have the same ring. So far, so good. Okay. Oh, there we go. Some more pieces here. Silicone ring here. Length of tube in the RoboBrew. You know what? Here. The tube for the Grainfather. Tube for the RoboBrew. I don't know if you can see a color difference. The RoboBrew one looks almost grimy, but they give you longer. For real, look at that. Kind of grimy, right? I'm going to clean it. It's not a big deal. Just little things. Little things, right? Little things that the Grainfather does better, little things that the RoboBrew has better. This right here, that's kind of grimy. It's almost off color, too. Continuing. Again, I've already done a review of the Grainfather, so I have some experience with it. I have no experience with the RoboBrew based on doing this. I think the Grainfather has a thicker silicone tube too. Yeah, look at that. Look at that end. It's kind of literally gross. Again, I'm going to clean it, but still, kind of literally gross, right? Let's keep going. Bottom of the Grainfather, we have a piece of cardboard. And that's it. So, we are to the bottom of the Grainfather. Here we are. That's what it looks like. Okay. Let's get to the bottom of the RoboBrew. All right, there are our two pieces. Ooh, there's three. I didn't see that coming. Okay, I'm going to have to look this up because, I have no experience in the RoboBrew. There's three of these. Four of these. There are 4 screens. Why are there 4 screens? Don't tell me now. Don't tell me. Because I'm going to do a detailed review of the RoboBrew too. Okay. This one. You ready for my guesses? This one is the bottom of the malt pipe because it has the connection here for the other bits. This one, I have no idea what this one is, but it's got a hole large enough to go above that one. So I have no idea what this one is. Maybe just an extra filter underneath the top one? Okay. I have no idea. Then this has to be the top one because it has the 2 handles here, the same way that the Grainfather one does. I wouldn't say that this or the Grainfather one has better handles. This one is round. Grainfather has square. I wouldn't say either one is better. And then this one looks like a false bottom, which I think I've read that the RoboBrew has a false bottom on top of all of these things, so that must be what this is. This feels like a false bottom with things like that there. So this is going to take the place of, where did I put it? Here it is. This. So, RoboBrew, false bottom, Grainfather, filter to go. All right, those are going to generally do the same thing. The size of the holes look identical. This has more surface area. I think I really like that idea more than I like this. And there are no silicone parts on there, which this one has. So if you're going to sour something, I might end up souring something in the RoboBrew. Looks like, by the way, differences here. Grainfather, thermal well directly in there, and pump coming out the side. RoboBrew. Okay, looks like the thermometer is coming up out of the bottom, and looks like the pump is coming up out of the bottom too. So I wonder if that makes a difference. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to brew the same recipe side by side and see what the difference is in flavor, and see if anybody can actually tell the difference between a RoboBrew brewed beer and a Grainfather brewed beer. So that's the difference between the two here. On the unboxing, both of them have the pieces here for a still attachment. The pieces on the Grainfather feel a little bit more substantial. These feel a little flimsier. But on the whole, they feel about the same weight. These two units are extremely similar weight-wise when empty. So you can see, I think the biggest difference is chiller, obviously, the size of the malt pipe, and then the way that they filter using a false bottom on the RoboBrew and the actual filter on the Grainfather. So check out the rest of the videos as I make them, and you can see I'm going to put these both right here underneath a range hood, venting out through there, and welcome to the new brewery. If anyone was watching, if anyone was, thank you. If not, that's cool too. I was going to do it anyway, and this was a lot of fun. So I'm going to stop the video now and then continue to put these together. And I'm drinking my American wheat. Cheers. You hear that? The bubble wrap. See if anybody commented.